Sarah. Julian, how are you?
Hello, good morning. I'm good. Thank you. How about you?
Great. Yeah,
Oh, great.
fantastic. Yeah.
It's good to hear. You have a nice hairdo.
Thank you so much. Thank you. It was about time to cut it. It was growing too much. I was putting too much water in it. It was growing too much. Tanya, good morning.
Morning, sir.
How are you?
Great, thank you.
Give these people another 5 minutes to show up. Rodas, good morning.
Hello.
Good morning.
Hi, Professor. I'm good. I'm good. How are you?
Good, good.
Did you ask any questions, Professor? Because I'm having trouble with my network.
No, no, no.
Okay, okay, great.
Also, sir, we don't have yet assignment or homework like that. Or maybe I cannot see it or I miss it.
Check on Moodle. That's what I was gonna announce today. Since we are gonna cover chapter 7 today, chapter 7 and chapter 8. That was the last chapter that I wanted to cover before we do the first assignment, which is a quiz. Um, and check on Moodle right now. There should be assignment 1. Please double check that is available.
Oh yeah, I seen it. Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. That one will be due next Friday before or next Sunday before class.
Okay. Next Friday. So oh yeah. Today is still Saturday. Mhm.
So just do before next class. Yeah. Hmm. Wait another 3 minutes in here until everybody else shows up. Holly, good morning.
Good morning, Olia.
Nick, good morning.
Hello, Professor.
How are
I'm
you?
just in the street. I'm not home yet. Yeah,
No problem. We appreciate you being present.
yeah. Thank you.
All right. So let's start the class, and as people start showing up, we keep doing it. So welcome to class number 5, and this is very exciting every Sunday. I'm always looking forward to meeting with you guys. Um, and let's start with today we're gonna cover chapter 7 and 8. As more people show up, we'll talk about more about um, the assignment that is already in Moodle. But let's go ahead and review um, what we saw last week, which was chapter 5, chapter 6. They covered the influence that all of our environment has on us, like for example our family, our friends, um, our culture, right, and all those things, how much it influences us on actually, you know, taking action on buying something, borrowing something, wearing something, and how important it is to understand the environment of every person before we target them, right? And what the difference is between everybody in our pretty much in our market, the people that we're going after. Um, the soft skill that we covered was motivation, pretty much in the sense of how do we increase motivation and how do we change motivation on people, um, making them to carry some type of behavior or behave some type of way. So that's part of motivation, and it's very important, especially when we are marketers, because our department and our employees are our first customers. And we want to make sure that all of them are happy, and that's what motivating is key and very important for us to have. So that's what I wanted to review from last week. Um, but let's go ahead and jump on chapter number 7. One thing that I want to say is all of the questions that are going to be on the quiz come from the chapters, come from the PowerPoints. So since the PowerPoints are already live, make sure that you review them and all the questions and answers come directly from the PowerPoints. Okay. Let me go ahead and share my screen so we can put the chapter that we're going to cover today. And once again, please confirm if you see my screen or not.
Can see it, sir.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much. So, chapter 7. Chapter 7 is all about segmentation. Can anybody help me without looking at the PowerPoint? Can anybody answer what a segmentation is? Somebody that could help me, or somebody that knows or assumes what segmentation is?
It is dividing people into categories like that to target each segment in a separate way or in the way that is convenient for his behavior or his lifestyle.
Perfect. Great definition. Great definition. That's pretty much the broad definition of it. And we're gonna look a little bit more into detail in here on how we can actually segment, right? So we have to explain the criteria for effective segmentation, um, and how do we divide them on different maps and things like that. So this one actually covers segmentations, target marketing, and positioning. So it starts by how do we perceive customers, and we put them in different groups. Then we call that a target market because now they have like a target in their back. We're going after them. And then positioning is actually how they see us as a brand, as a company. It's not so much on, oh, I want to be a high end type of company, but it's how they perceive us. So let's move on in here. So that's what we said: market segmentation, target marketing, and positioning. So we start with the market segmentation, which is pretty much dividing a group of people into a meaningful smaller markets. So you're dividing them into different groups. And basically, it's because they all have common characteristics. Then we move into target marketing, which is evaluating the market segments, then making decisions about which among them is most worthily investing on for development. And then we look into positioning, which is actually how they see us as a brand. It's what they see in their minds. And when they talk about our brand, what is it that they expect, or you know, what they think about us. So what is segmentation? It could be undifferentiated or singular. Undifferentiated is where everyone essentially wants the same thing, or singular, where each person has unique needs and wants. Okay, so what why do we do this type of thing? The reason why we do segmentation is to be able to develop different marketing strategies to best meet the segment distinct needs and wants. So, for example, like the example that I always give, we could have one segmentation. Let's say I sell shoes. My segmentation group is just people that need shoes, but it could be sports, right? It could be shoes for work. It could be elegant shoes. It could be different segments in that area. And within that segment, I could also go, okay, sports. But sports, there's many of them. It could be tennis. It could be basketball. It could be hockey. So, so that's where we're dividing them. So it's easier for me to segment and then apply different marketing strategies for all of them, depending on what, depending on where they're located and things like that. So you can even segment a little bit more. So what is segmentation? It's differentiation, which means communicating and delivering value in different ways to different customer groups. Because what? Not all customers are alike. Subgroups of customers can be identified on some basis or similarity. The subgroups will be smaller and more homogeneous than the overall market. And more importantly, if you guys listen to this, needs and wants of a subgroup are more efficiently and effectively addressed than will be possible within a bigger market, within a bigger group. So we're essentially looking into those needs and wants, right? And a lot of the times, just because they are, tennis players, they have the same needs, right? Just because they are in basketball, they have the same needs, right? They need a basketball shoe that is going to make them jump a little bit more, that is comfortable, that looks in a certain way, right? That covers their ankles so they don't twist them. So, criteria for effective segmentation, which I was just said, how do we effectively divide people? Is the segment of sufficient size? Let's say you have 100 customers and your group is, you know, tennis players is only two, and the basketball players is 80, 90, 98. Um, I'm not going to create just a segment for tennis just because my group size is very, very small. I want to be able to put a marketing budget to that specific segment and be able to target them efficiently. So the next question is the segment readily identifiable and can it be measured, right? If it's too small, it's really hard to be measured. But big enough to find out if the sale is coming directly from that specific group. Is the segment clearly differentiated on one or more important dimensions? Can the segment be reached in order to deliver the value of the product? So we start with different ways that we segment, which is pretty much what she was saying right here in the definition. In this case, it's geographic segmentation, which could be by region, right? By population density, by size of growth of population, or even by climate, right? So these little areas you could cover and say, oh, how am I going to segment my group based on geographic segmentation? The next one is demographic segmentation, which now we're talking about age, gender, family, income, occupation, education, social class. So you could also divide these groups based on these areas. It's a little bit more difficult now, and I have to acknowledge it on regards to the gender, um, and race and ethnicity anymore, right? Because those are delicate subjects when you come to a conclusion, and you want to make sure that you don't leave anybody outside of this. But it is still one of the sections that is demographic, right? It's something as simple as income, right? The people that make from this point to this point, this is how much they make every year. And that's the type of people that I'm looking for because the cost of my specific product, right? We look at age, generational group, gender. We look at family and household, right? We look at race and ethnicity. We look at income, occupation, education, social class. So right here, like one of the variables for demographic segmentations will be um, what what's happening during the time that they're part of this segment, right? Are they following different trends? Are they changing throughout the age, right? So your people is usually changing as they go. So when you're looking to demographic, their income could go up at any time, right? Their age is changing all the time, right? So or their education is changing as well. So that's one of the things that you got to look into the variables that are part of that demographic group, and that's why you have to be updating them all the time, right? There is also something called a psychographic segmentation. And the next one, it's very interesting, which is pretty much on attitudes, interests, and opinions, right? An attitude could be about a very adventurous. And being adventurous, for example, in this case, it gives us a GoPro, right? A camera that it's waterproof and everything else. So that's based on what I like, not so much on who I am, where I live, and what's my age and what's my gender, but it's more about I like to adventure. That's my attitude. That's what I like, and I opinionate in this way. I feel like I really like this, and I'm gonna go pursue that type of group. So it could be people that go camping, or it could be, for example, in regards to psychographic segmentation, it could be just people that like to go and party a lot, or people that really like to work from home, right? That's a different attitude, different interests, and different opinions. Now, the next one is behavioral segmentation, which is very used, very similar to the psychographical right here. But why is it so similar? Is it because we're looking into the different behaviors, the different things that they do and they have in common, right? They visit certain places in a certain time of the year. They do certain things like off-roading. They like surfing. I mean, there's all these type of behaviors that we have to analyze and we get to understand. Um, that's behavioral segmentation. This is just an example of how we divide our groups pretty much. Target marketing is pretty much target marketing as we already defined it. It's actually going after that specific segment, right? So analyze market segments, develop profiles of each potential target market, right? A target market is a set of group of people that we identify as a segment, right? Develop profiles of each potential target market and select a target marketing approach. Target marketing approach is pretty much analyzing the segment and creating marketing strategies for that specific segment. So these are graphs or pyramids that are showing us on how we could create, you know, the different markets and which one are we going to prioritize, right? Say, for example, what we just said, we have different segments of sports when I'm selling shoes, right? Basketball, soccer, uh, tennis, and all that stuff. That would be my primary markets. But then you create secondary markets, which could be just sports in general, and then tertiary markets, which are just shoes. And then there's other markets that, hey, if the order is good or not, but I'm not pursuing them as a group of segments. Now, this is pretty much when we're selecting a target marketing approach, right? And differentiated target marketing, concentrated target marketing, customized one-to-one marketing. Now, this is up to you, and it's also going to depend on your marketing budget. Why? Because you could actually, if you have a big budget, then you can create campaigns just for these specific groups and be very selective on the people that you go after. But if you don't have this type of budgeting and creating campaigns just specific for these, limited people, then you go into more of a broad approach on trying to approach, as many people as I can to be able to get them. Now, but when it comes to advertising and marketing, you have to, it's good for you to have these segmentations because this is how you're going to be able to understand where your results are coming from and also what are the areas that I should be spending my money on. And then you can see how those segments and those areas are growing. Now, let's now go from positioning, from target marketing and segmentation to something that is called positioning. Positioning is not what the company does to the product, it's what the company does to the mind of the customer. So think about the easiest one in this perspective is cars, right? Because we have the cheaper version or the cheaper, more economical brands, and I'm gonna just mention brands based on the United States. But it could be a Honda, which is the positioning that we have on that specific brand is a day-by-day driver. An average family could buy it, and it's gonna last you a long, long time. That's a positioning that is in the mind of the customer. Now, there could be a Ferrari, which is an Italian car, and that it's very very expensive to fix. Um, it gives you a status. It makes you, for people, if you have a car like that, automatically it's assumed that you're, you know, better, really well off on your economics and your finances. So that's the positioning that it does to the mind. Not so much what the product is, but it's just more how we perceive it, right? So usually positioning starts with me understanding like focus groups, like gathering a lot of people and having them think that based on the quality of the product or the experience that I'm offering on the product, how do you guys see that, people will see it? And then we also analyze, we do surveys, we develop different strategies to be able to get true feedback from our customers because we cannot just go to market and assume that it's going to be the best product or the most expensive or just simply um, the cheapest one out there because that's also positioning that we might go after, right? In here on these examples, you are going to see some perceptual maps on how we could actually divide our positioning because it could be high quality, low quality, high price, low price. It could be convenience. It could be the type of features that it has. So we could position it in many different ways. So this is called the perceptual map. It's how do they perceive the the product. And this is for us to understand a little bit more where we stand in regards to our competitors and also where we stand in regards to what we think that the product is doing. So we have full service, convenient to this is like a perceptual map for a hotel. We have full service, basic service, convenient to business to district, convenience to airport. And these are the dots that, the different criteria that we have. We have a criteria A, criteria C, criteria B. Right here, perceptual map for automotive, which could be highly sporty. It's not sporty at all, and it has low prestige and high prestige. Now, sources of differentiation. Some of these brands you might not know about. Some of these are global. So, for example, Walmart, price leadership is pretty much their differentiation is saying everything that we sell is cheaper than everybody else. Apple is innovative leadership. We always have the best quality and we always have the latest thing. BMW product leadership. We have a company like Amazon that is known by convenience, right? Because you could just go online and buy anything. So these are great examples to understand the positioning that it's in our mind. Um, and as a company, they understood it and now they take advantage of it. These are some positioning errors based on the book, which could be Audi, which is the car company. They don't consider themselves as, a high end. McDonald's, for example, confused positioning. Sometimes they offer things that are very expensive or very exclusive for people like vegan and things like that, but they're also going for that $1 burger that it kind of meets every single, segment. So the positioning is still up in the air because you don't know if it's a good quality or not low quality food because they offer a little bit of everything. All right, guys. So that's chapter number 7. Do you guys have any questions? Any questions in chapter 7? So, are we still there? We're still there? Yeah.
Professor.
Yes.
All right. Okay. So,
So,
go ahead.
in short, segmentation is grouping, okay, while positioning is what do you offer to this group? Am I correct? Am I wrong?
So we got to think about. Well, there are two different things.
Of course, there is a lot of details, but I'm talking about the general idea.
Yeah. Well, the general idea is simple. Segmentation is me dividing group my customers into groups, so I could target them separately. So if I know that you play tennis, I can target you as a tennis player and I offer you different promotions as a tennis player. I know that I have soccer players, so I could target you as a soccer player and I could give you different promotions and I could give you different products, right? So that's my segmentation. I'm generating two different groups, or because I am targeting age 20 to 25, and in this group I'm targeting 40 to 45. That is segmentation. Those are the basics. Just dividing your customers into different groups that carry the same needs or wants, based on that. Now, when it comes to positioning, there's two types of positioning in here. The one that you as a company, how do you want them to see you as a company, or how do you want, um, or how the customers actually see you? Because they could be that you think that you're high end and you're good quality, but your customers are still comparing you to a really low end competitor, really cheap. So positioning is really what your customers think about your company and what your brand is. Um, so, for example, McDonald's still think that they're high end, um, you know, fast food restaurant, right? Because they still sometimes have in the menu some expensive items. But the reality is that most of the people think that they're low end. That could be just a $1 burger or really cheap burger to get to your kids right away because that's where you're going to school and you're taking them and it's your low end. So that's why between the perspective of what I think my brand is known for and what the perspective is coming from our customers. So it's how do they see, um, ourselves in their mind? What do they think about the brand?
Okay, clear. Thank you.
Yeah. Any more questions? Yeah, Lauren?
Sir, I have a concern actually, because
Yeah.
nowadays when people start, for example, producing a new product or something, when they look about the potentials for this product, they no longer do the segmentation. They target the market overall. when they see a market potential. So let's make a product for everyone. And this actually put some other old companies in a bad situation, because the old companies are based on the strategy of segmentation, and this make you sometimes uh, like Audi in the last table in the lecture, be under positioning. I'm a very good product with high quality and high end, but I have to target this market to compete on a lower level, or the opposite. So I'm a very unqualified brand, but I'm trying to make some branding and advertising to make an over positioning for myself. And this is really a problem, because it corrupts the standards or the benchmark of any market, and I can't find solution for this issue actually.
Yeah. So you're right. That's the problem with, let's say, for example, the internet, and after the whole industrial revolution was um, that anybody realized that anybody could go to market, come with the product, and start promoting um, anything on the internet, which creates a huge problem um, for many different brands. And I currently have that problem with the company that I work for, because it's hard to justify your value compared to these other people that are offering a cheaper um, area, cheaper product, and they still put themselves out there. Now, how do we compete with that? Um, we tend to create uh, different areas of different products. That's how we're going to compete them. That's how I see that it's competed. Um, a lot of companies go to the low end and little by little grow into the higher end of the better quality, right? But there is also different strategies on just, I create a really cheap product, and then I offer a really good expensive product, which brings that normal customer in a purchase, and then they end up purchasing the bigger one because they realize that that's what they wanted in the first place. Um, so those are just different strategies that we could apply on coming out with new products that is going to be, you know, our low end area and our high end. For example, I'll give you an idea. Lamborghini. Lamborghini, this Italian brand of cars. Now, what happened to them? Of course, for them to be able to survive, because they're such a big company, but they only produce a certain amount of cars every time they come out with a new model, because each one is, $200,000, $300,000, right? Very expensive for the regular person. So, um, with that said, what they did is that they created an SUV, and that SUV actually brings more than 50% of the sales for that specific company. So that specific product saved, you know, um, the overall company, because they were about to go bankruptcy. So sometimes we try to fight that we are the best quality, that we are this, but a lot of the times we also have to create some type of product or some type of service that creates our bottom line, and little by little introduce our customers to the higher end. Um, so we have to be able to cover some areas in the bottom, on the bottom, like services or something that could complement our bigger product that we could upsell later on. Um, and nevertheless, the biggest thing is we got to be able to pay our bills. We got to be able to keep our doors open and paying our employees. So that's why we create some type of bottom subscription service or area that we could work with, and it still bring money into the company. Um, in your specific situation, I don't know if you guys already have some type of low end type of service or product, or it doesn't even have to be a low end, but it could be a service where you could get yourself through the door and all of a sudden, grow from there. If I remember right, you work a lot with the government. And we had somewhat of a discussion last time about this too, right?
E-
So, go ahead.
Products my company do, um, they have to be safe and they have to be according to some standards. So actually, they cannot be a low end. Others do it in this way, but that have to overcome some safeties, which we cannot do. It is a matter of conscience. So I don't think that the ability to do an alternative product low end will be a proposed or a preferred by the company, because that means that I have to downgrade some materials which may affect the safety of the product.
What about some type of service that also a service, or like you said, a subscription, or something that complements, or something that is is I mean, it depends on the industry and it depends on the product, but it doesn't have to be the quality of the product. It could be the service behind it, or some type of subscription, right? That might help, and it helps to pay the bills.
If I understand your excellency well, I think you mean to that the client prescribe my service that I provide specifically, so it can be provided from my side, right?
Correct.
Yes, we are working on that actually.
Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
this is the
Okay.
the only solution currently.
Okay. Okay. So here's the thing. A lot of companies are trying to, and here's where a company like Norrens is gonna survive compared to other companies. We sometimes have to give up and say, I'm not here to meet everybody's needs, right? I just have a specific group, and that's my specific product, and I'm not going to sacrifice the quality. Now, what we tend to do is to undermine that positioning, because sometimes we think that we have to go and make sure that everybody has our product, and everybody should have it, and because it's quality compared to others. But the reality is we don't really have to, right? We just gotta have some amount of customers that we're satisfied with, and we know that that's going to generate very, very better outcome. um, but for example, in her position, I am in the same position. Our product, the one that I work with, and um, as a full time, we manufacture trailers that are really high quality. And of course, there's other trailers that are coming to market that are, 50% to almost 80% less expensive than our product. What I work really hard on is making videos. What I do work really hard is getting testimonials from the people that currently have my product. What I work really hard on is emphasizing the features and the benefits of my product as much as I can. Um, and what I work really hard on, it's sometimes not allowing to give too much discounts, because let's say we are capable of doing some discounts, but the more discounts that I give, the more the perspective from the customer ends up going to the lower end. And they think that just because I'm giving discounts, the price should actually be cheaper. Um, so I emphasize more of the features, the the safety of my product, which I also have that little issue or something that I have to work on all the time. And I also work on the monetary benefits from it. So, for example, what I work on is, with my trailer, you only need one person to do the job instead of two or three people. That's saving you money because you don't have to have 3 employees. With my product, it takes you 10 minutes to load a piece of equipment into the trailer. With other products, it's going to take you an hour or an hour and a half. So that is when they see, oh, I'm saving money, I'm saving time, I could do more in one day, then they also realize, oh, it's worth paying that extra money for that. Lauren, I don't have a specific answer because I don't have the specific product, but please help me by sending me your website or the product description or something that you could send me some information because now I'm very interested on how do I can help you to take your product to this better positioning and solve this question that this is the second time you bring it up, so I really want to know about your product. So please send me the website or send me some information about the product so I could give you some feedback on that.
Me too. I'm curious. I'm thinking, what is it? So I want also to know, but maybe it's a protocols company to not to broadcast it to anyone or what. So
No, I can share the website. Don't worry about the portfolio. No problems.
Yeah, because we are curious what you are seeing. How is it?
Yes, I can post it here on the chat box. No problem.
Thank you.
Yeah, no,
Welcome.
we're here to help. And I think brainstorming. So, Noren, I cannot tell you how many times I've spent a whole day or multiple hours in front of a whiteboard and I just start making notes, right? And I start asking myself, why would I buy this product? And then I start writing notes, right? What makes this product different? What is it the color? Is it the height? Is it and I start looking at the different features, different things. Um, I recommend you to do like a SWOT analysis that we already cover in other chapters. And I recommend you, I mean, everybody in this class, when you're stuck, just just try to go back to a whiteboard or take notes, right? And then start writing and writing ideas of why is my product important and why people should buy it, right? Now, um, that's something that we could do on the daily basis or we could do it once a month, right? And then it gives you an opportunity to really know the product that you have. Now, I also want you guys to think about something. People, most of the time, they don't buy a product. They buy a company because that they're working with you, they buy the relationship, but more than anything, they buy the story. What's the story behind this product? Why should I have it? Is it going to give me a better status? Is it going to make me a better person? Is it going to put me in a different segment as a group of people, right? We are the only ones that have this product. What, start by the why people should have this, and then you develop that. Um, so it sometimes Norn takes time to go back to the basics of marketing, which is the SWOT analysis, competitor analysis, and a segment analysis. Does it even make sense? Does it even make sense for me to segment, or should I blast it out to everybody and then at one point start, doing little segments little by little? But please go ahead and share the website and hopefully myself and some of your classmates can give you more feedback on how just ideas, right? What are the benefits, the features that we see from our end, and how we could, help you on that. All right.
Actually, to be honest, the case it is not about the product. We have done lots and lots, dozens of analysis. but actually the challenges come from the constraints we are facing related to company policies. This is a side, and the other side is related to that our product is frankly is not suitable for the market here, but I'm forced to sell it on the market here because the
Yeah.
people mentality here is different. We are a very price oriented market, which needs a lot of features with the cheapest price, but this is not my product. So this is the challenge. That's why I opened the discussion about the positioning, because um, actually being in the market here is under positioning for me, and but I'm still trying. I'll have to sell in this market because it have a potential, but I shouldn't target this market from the beginning. But it is not my decision. It is a management decision.
Correct, because they feel like there is a market in there, but if the product is done a lot of research, they didn't really do a lot of market research and to understand that if it's even gonna sell in that area. Um, okay, okay. So all right, yeah, just share the website and we'll start from there and see, and also share the area where you're at, so we could also understand the target market or the people that you're dealing with, and we will try to help you on that area. Now, with that said, you're also in sales, so it seems like you're selling. Also, don't ever forget that we're also selling ourselves, okay? So, is it your connections? Is it your personality? The reason why they're buying is not so much in the product, but you're 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 building yourself into a relationship type of area where are you making yourself well known, right? Um, are you making yourself connected to these type of people? Are you going to the right events, things like that? I mean, these are things that you probably already explore, but I'm just bringing up because sometimes we forget that we're not just selling a product, but we're also selling ourselves into introducing ourselves to new people, going to new places and things like that help us. But anyways, share the website and share your location so we could also, you know, give some ideas and help you on this. It seems like everybody else in here in this class is also very knowledgeable in marketing, so we're also here to help. Okay, guys. So the soft skill that I wanted to cover is actually work ethic. Can anybody help me on finding out what work ethic is? Um, Ahmed, what do you think work ethic is?
I think doing the correct action, taking the correct action, the ethical action. Yeah, it might be hard sometimes to do this, especially like I'm talking as an HR. Uh, that as an HR person, I should not be in a favor of someone or some party because I am in the middle between the employee and company. So usually, what I've seen from many colleagues in the profession, they tend to be with the company against the employee, or not against the employee, but trying to make favor to the company. Okay, so as my previous manager told me, uh, put yourself in the shoes of the employee. Would you accept this to happen to you? So this is what I'm thinking. If you when you are saying work ethics,
Yeah,
correct, to do the correct thing. Try to be fair as much as possible, but to do the correct thing.
yeah, yeah. So I saw that Dania was also trying to give us her opinion. Dania, please go ahead and type it out on what you think work ethic is. Um, So Ahmed, you're somewhat correct in this sense. I'm gonna wait until Daniel types so we could also see concept of work ethic. She said moral principle. Yes, there is some type of moral principle in this area. Why is that? It's because no matter what happens in our company, it could be, I'm gonna use Lauren as an example. She could be frustrated um, because the situation of the product, right? I am being, you know, mandated by my management to sell this product in an area where there is not a target, right? There is no market. So I'm having some type of frustrations in these things. But part of the work ethic is still showing up to work, right? So her work ethic is really good. Reason why is because although she knows that the product is being difficult to sell in this area and this target market probably doesn't exist, then she still behaves professionally, right? She still creates a really good attitude when it comes to this showing up to work, working with people around him. And also she's trying to go for the high productivity, right? So those are kind of like the main principles of high work ethic. It says work ethic is the principle that hard work is intrinsically virtuous and worthy of reward. Pretty much saying, no matter what, I'm still doing my best. I know we all have our frustrations. I know we all have our days where we think that we should be making more money, where I should be doing something else, where I shouldn't be selling this product, but we are still performing 100%. Reason why is that important? Because the decision to stay a lot of the times, depending on our country, but let's say I'm gonna give you an example in the United States, the decision is ours if we stay in that specific company. So in the United States. Now, so if I decide to show up the next day to go to work, I still have to perform 150%. So the way I always understood it is from my graphic design background. If I do some type of design, but I don't give it 100%, I always think that that design has my signature and it has a picture of me. So that's my representation. That's my work ethic. I have to do it good because that's who I am. And I feel like I have to be professional and I have to produce my 100%. I could hate the company. I could not be happy. I want to be home. I don't want to work in this place anymore. But I always behave professionally. I don't disrespect anybody. And I'm determined to succeed no matter what. If I'm still part of this group, I'm determined to succeed. So, for example, Lauren is determined to succeed on this specific product. There could be frustrations, but she's also just pursuing it. That's also part of teamwork and cooperation. Why is that important? So, teamwork comes with your commitment, right? I am sure that all of you guys have experienced this, where you show up to go to work, but the other, let's say somebody else is having a down day, and they're not really willing to work. You definitely feel like, hey, if you didn't want to come to work, then why did you do it, right? Don't do it because you're ruining it for all of us. We are thinking that we're coming to work and doing our best, but the reality is that you are, not helping very much because, your attitude is down for the day, right? Um, so that is work ethic. If we committed to work with this company, we do our best until the decision changes, until we say, I don't want to be here anymore, or until they say you're being let go. So any questions about that? That's a huge soft skill that we have to have in general to create a reputation. Any questions or any comments? Okay, let's go ahead and take a 5 minute break, and then we go into the next chapter. And then once we cover the next chapter, then we finish the class. So let's go ahead and take a 5 minute break. For me, it's 7 a.m. So let's go back in 5 minutes, 7:05 my time. So some of you guys is 10:05, some of you guys is 5:05. So I'll see you guys in 5 minutes, okay?
Okay.
Hey guys, some of you guys are back. Some of you guys are not. Norin, quick question. You are just in charge of selling those gas insulated machines. Are you just in charge of sales for yourself? Are you given a territory? Um, or what is your specific position in this case?
I sell it in Egypt only, and this is my scope. But sometimes it is extended to Africa, and it is both from European origin, from Norway actually. The main feeder factory is there. So this I buy it from Norway and I sell it to Egypt and Africa.
Okay. All right, guys, let me go ahead and cover something very quick before I do the chapter. So there is already a new an assignment. There is going to be just 3 assignments here in this course, which is 2 quizzes and 1 final exam. The first quiz is already posted on Moodle. It covers the first 7 chapters, 7 PowerPoints. All of the questions come from the PowerPoints. So 7 PowerPoints, 10 questions. Each question is 10 points. So it's going to be a total of 100 points. Now, the final exam is going to be a compilation of all the questions from quiz number 1 and quiz number 2. Once again, all the questions come from the PowerPoints. So when you have a chance, please go on Moodle and find out if you could open or you cannot open the quiz. I know Judeline already looked into it and she found it on Moodle. Please go ahead and do your own search to make sure that all of you guys can open it. That quiz is due before next class. So you still have a whole week to complete it, and that's before next class. If you have any questions or anything like that, feel free to contact me at any time, but it should be pretty straightforward and pretty direct. There is not a time on completing it, but once you start, yeah, you have to finish it. Okay, it's on Google Forms. So let me go ahead and move on with the next chapter. So I'm going to share my screen. So please go ahead and let me know if you guys could actually see it. You guys see the screen?
It's perfect.
Perfect. Okay. So in here, we're going to talk about product strategy, new product development, and things like that. Kind of like what we were just discussing a little bit ago with Norman and on the product. But now that I looked at our website, it's insane. They have so many different products that it makes it kind of like really difficult to say it's on the product. It's a little bit more. We have to analyze it. So in this chapter is product strategy and new product development. But we have to identify first what are the essentials of a product, right? The product experience at the core of delivering value to the customer and offering it's a product or service that delivers value to satisfy a need or a want. So we may think that we have a product, but it doesn't really solve any problems. And that's where we start. What problem does it solve? And is there anybody that will be in this earth that has a need or a want for this product? Now, is this product related to some type of experience, or is it some type of idea? So this is why brands are so important. There's companies that are here just to sell product, but there's companies that are here to create some type of experience. And for example, in our case, Starbucks and Apple create that experience, and they offer some type of um, status and some type of idea in your head of what that product does, right? So, customer experience, for example, Starbucks. Here in the United States, Starbucks is like a sanctuary where we come, we have coffee. It's pretty busy, but it's also a place where we can come, have coffee, do homework, listening to some music, and it gives us that opportunity to be there, sit down, and enjoy
Oh,
while you're having.
Same here in Canada.
Oh, yeah, yeah. So, so, um, but I know you guys also have Team Hortons, right? Right? You guys
Yes,
have
the
Tim Hortons.
competition of Starbucks.
Yeah. So, but I know Tim Hortons was there before, was it there? Because it's very popular in Canada.
Yeah, but mostly
So,
they like Starbucks, according to reviews.
so, so, so that's what we're looking into a product. So a product is just a piece of material, tangible or intangible, like a service. But what is it that is behind the story? And if you look at popular brands like Coca-Cola, like Nike, like Adidas, or things like that, try to see and understand what their story is and why is it that we buy from them, right? Why is it that we buy Apple instead of Microsoft, right? Well, especially here in the United States. Let's say in Colombia, where I come from, Apple is now starting to get to that huge status because it's quality. They know that a Microsoft or a Dell computer or things like that, it gives you, unless you are very tech savvy, it gives you a lot of problems. And then you have to be doing a lot of updates. You have to be fixing this. You have to do an antivirus and things like that. But with Apple, you don't have those problems. But besides that, it gives you a status. It gives you a story. If I have all the Apple products, I could communicate easier, right? I could use the same headphones. I could, the connectivity. It's really nice. And it's experience because it's like designed for designers, for people that is high quality and is looking for simple but effective machines. Same thing with Starbucks. Starbucks is more than the product. They can sell whatever they want inside, but they're also offering a different experience inside. In McDonald's, they also one of the first ones that started with offering like a playground for kids inside. So you see how my product is now being connected to an experience. Now I could go to McDonald's and the kids have a playground. Now they could enjoy. We could be there for 2 hours and only spend $35 buying a burger, right? So now, right here, this is a warning. If the product is wrong, great promotion, pricing, or distribution cannot save it. Kind of like what we were just discussing. If the product is not right or it's not good quality, there is not good marketing that is going to be able to save it. So, what is a product? A product is anything that delivers value to satisfy a need or want and includes physical merchandise, services, events, people, places, organizations, information, and ideas. Pretty much an offering and a product are the same. Um, Now, with that said, I want you guys to understand that a product, it could be tangible and intangible. Tangible meaning I could grab it, I could touch it, and intangible, it's something that you cannot touch. You could see, let's say, for example, I'm giving you a service, right? For example, you have an internet provider, there is a service, but you cannot touch it. So that's intangible. Now, defining a product. In order to define a product, we have to find the essential benefits, which is pretty much the fundamental needs met by the product. The core product is the actual tangible element that you're grabbing. And the enhanced product is something that is actually exceeding the expectations of the customer. So we have the essential benefit. We want to make sure that we cover the essential benefit because that's the why we created that specific product. But then we go into the core product on actually what the product is and the enhanced product. So when we're creating products, we have to find first what is the need and the want, but more than anything, what is the problem that we are solving is huge. We have to identify this is the problem that I'm trying to solve. For example, basketball shoes, right? My ankles are twisting every time I play basketball. Then I create a shoe that covers the ankle and it helps with that. I'm solving a problem, right? Defining the product. This one, it's giving an example of Southwest Airlines, which is an airline right here in the US that offers like the really cheap prices, but it takes you everywhere and they have direct flights and they don't really charge you for a bag, for a luggage when you check in. So what is the essential benefit? Well, the essential benefit is for me to transfer you from one place to another. That's my essential. Now, when it comes to the core product, is we want to make sure that you're on time, that it's safe, that it experience matches and the expectations. It matches the expectations that you have. My expectations is this company is going to take me to point A to point B, and it's doing it on time and it's safe. Now, enhanced product, these are the things that I don't expect as a customer, which is the experience that I have during the time that I'm in the plane. A lot of the times when I fly in Southwest Airlines, they are funny, they do jokes, they provide some snacks that I'm not expecting, they provide, some different things that I'm not expecting, like early check-in, um, boarding options where I could just all of a sudden be sitting in first class, right? Um, so but nevertheless, we have to cover the basics first. So, these are four ways to classify products, which could be tangible and durability, right? Are they tangible or intangible? How durable are they? What type of quality they are? And also, are they being used by consumers or they're being used by businesses? Please, if you have any questions, let me know and interrupt me at any time. So, oh, here's great example. Look, the detergent is non-durable good, right? Because it's not gonna last forever, and most of the time you're gonna be using it, and you're gonna be running out of it before you have to replace your washing machine, hopefully. So a durable good is a washing machine that you're gonna use multiple times. A non-durable good in this case is the detergent or the soap that you put in it. You're gonna run out of it, you're gonna go to the store and buy another one. Both of them are tangible because you can touch them. Now, what are the different type of consumer goods? The first one is a convenience good. It could be like a staples for your staple machine, or it could be something that is an emergency that is very convenient. I need to go get it. Shopping goods could be furniture, clothes, appliances. Specialty goods, which is specialty items that have just, they're specific for something like unique characteristics for iPhone, or unsought goods, which is insurance, something that you're not looking for, but you need every day. So insurance is just something, you know, we have to buy. Just, in the United States where, we are forced to have insurance for our cars and things like that. product discrimination, which we see create a point of differentiation. Now, this is where we sit down and look at our product and say, what makes it different? Is it how quickly we can repair it? How reliable it is? How durable it is? What's the quality of it? And what are the features of that specific product? This is where we find out if it's really different from our competitors and if it really offers quality to our competitors. There is a difference right here when you're creating a product plan, because a lot of the times it's not just one product, it has multiple products in that section. You know, as a company, once you create a product, then all of a sudden you get feedback from your customers and they say, hey, but you could also create this one, and you could also do this one, and then you could also do this one, which is a huge problem. Reason why is because you could extend so broad on so many products that it could end up being a problem for manufacturing. You have too much to offer, but very little, you don't really know which one is the product that sells the most and which one is the one that matters the most because you have too many things. And also, you have a gap where you could also be identified as a low quality because one of the products that you're building that is extra could be failing a lot. So, for example, globally, Johnson and Johnson, Johnson and Johnson has multiple products, but when one of them fails, the whole reputation of the company goes down. That's just an example. So there is a difference between a product line and a product mix. The product mix is all of the products that your company offers, and a product line is when you have one specific product, but you offer different variations of that specific product. Or also, it's it's just created with that same criteria, right? So it says right here, product line, a group of products linked through usage, customer profile, price points, and distribution channels or needs satisfaction, right? Huge, very important chart right here, the ones that you guys have in front of you, which is the stage of the product life cycle. The product starts as an introduction, and you guys see the lines, the red line and the blue line, which identifies the growth of the product when it gets introduced, and then later on, what happens with it. Usually, when you introduce it, the product tends to grow because it's being known by people. They go into that second stage, which is growth, which is actually where we're getting a lot more of the sales. Then you go into maturity, where everybody knows about the product. That's when you're definitely getting most of the market. And then it goes into declining, right? That's when people start forgetting, or a competitor come to market, or somebody else is offering it cheaper. Now, why is this so important? Reason why is because once you see that your product is hitting maturity and you know it, you have to, as a marketing manager, come up with solutions to avoid that it goes into a declining section. What you do is that it's okay to decline a little bit, but you reinvent some type of variation to that product, or you simply create a second product that offers the opportunity for the product that you currently have to be enhanced, right? So now you create an opportunity again to go into introduction, growth, maturity, and decline again. So you never want your products to go into decline, because what happens? It might fall into this category that gives you bad reputation. So at that point, it's easier to just discontinue it instead of it ending up in really cheap, statuses or less economic statuses. So new product define company perspective, which is what we were saying. It's a new to the world, right? Are we being disruptive? Is it something new that is coming out to market? Or are we actually adding repositioning ourselves? Are we finding ourselves to putting it um, instead of this market, going to the next market? And that's me repositioning my existing product, but I'm just moving it to a different market to see if they buy. And different new, it says right here, add new market segments. Cost reduction, right? That's the next step. When you see that a product is also declining, all of a sudden you introduce lower cost products with fewer features to be able to target a different group, right? Different area of people. It doesn't mean you got to discontinue the product. You could just cost reduce and also introduce a product that is more on the lower end to be able to get different people. So, why do products fail? A lot of the times, products fail for many different reasons. One of them, it could be the company, inadequate value proposition. What do you mean by inadequate value proposition? It means what you're offering to the customers is not communicated right. We don't understand your message. We don't really understand what value does your product or your company bring to my lifestyle. Poor marketing communication could be if we're not doing a good job with marketing, then you're definitely gonna affect the product marketing communications. Product does not meet the customer expectations, right? So we cannot put high expectations and then not fulfill them. Failure to fully develop product. That's also a big part. A lot of companies just out of nowhere come out with a new product, but they don't really fully develop it. We also have customers changing purchase priorities, right? Higher expectations. We have competitors aggressively attack new competition. And also what we have right here is the environment. Changes, changes in government regulations or legislations, and changes in society demands and economic changes. So these are the main reasons of why products fail or why we feel like it's not a fit for my market. So when you are developing a new product, you have to identify the opportunities and the solutions that you're giving by offering this new product, right? So you go by stage one, identify new product opportunities. Stage two is define the new product opportunity in the market. Stage three will be develop the new product opportunity. Um, Something that I learned before is that they tell you do not, if you're barely starting in business, do not try to create a market. Get an existing market, enter, and then once you are in business, then you can start creating your own markets or your own ideas or your own trends in that. Now, to generate ideas, identify product opportunities, generate new ideas. The new ideas could be from the external, from the people, from your customers. It could be from internal when it comes to your employees. You also have right here distributors and customers. Identify product opportunities, evaluate new product ideas. There is companies that um, screen and evaluate ideas. You could go to market mistake, which is pretty much firm fails to keep a bad product from moving into product development. Um, and then we also have right here stop to market mistake. A good idea is eliminated prematurely. Now, a lot of the times companies just feel like, oh, this is a good product and this is just what it is, and we're going to market, but they don't really do any research behind it. They don't really understand if there's a market for it, if there's people that are actually going to buy it, if they're actually solving a problem. And the next one is how big of a market it is. You know, yes, there might be, you might say, oh, if I have this problem, other people should have it. So I need to identify how big is that market, because what if I solve that problem but only 2 or 3 people in the world have it? So that it's where we have to identify, is it big enough for me to create a product just for that? Also, good ideas are eliminated prematurely. Reason why? Because there is not enough research, or there is not enough belief to be able to identify if that idea is actually worth making or not. Identify product opportunities and prioritize ideas. What is it that we want to prioritize? We want to know when is the right time to market, when is the right time to actually develop the product and actually come to market with it. What is the return on investment that is expected? How much money I'm putting in this project and how much money I'm going to get back once I come up with this product. And now, that's the product actually fit my portfolio? Does it fit my product line, right? Does it fit with my other products that I have currently, especially in manufacturing? Can I still produce this product without stopping my manufacturing to create the other products? Now, define the product opportunity. When we talk about the opportunities, what is it that the product is going to do, and what is it that is going to offer to individuals? So define and test the product concept, create a marketing strategy, and analyze the product business case, which is pretty much creating like a profile per product. So you create a profile per product and you identify who will buy this, why they will buy it, what is it that it offers, what are the benefits, what are the features that it offers, and more than anything, what is the problem that is solving? What is the value? And this is what we have right here. Product definition objectives. Define the value proposition. Do not ever forget about that. The value is pretty much what is it that this product is doing for me. Identify the target market and purchase frequency, right? If you have a really good product and the purchase frequency is really low, that could be a problem for your company. Reason why is because all of a sudden I only sell one of these every 10 years, right? And then how am I going to survive if my market is really small? A good example for this was the Gillette razor. So Gillette is a huge company that was known for the razors that for male to be able to shave. Now, what happened? Mr. Gillette realized that he was making so good of a quality of a product that he realized that he was going bankruptcy because the quality of the product was so good and it was lasting for a long, long time. So the purchase frequency was very, very low. What he did is that he created a plastic one so people could come and keep buying. And they buy different blades and they buy different cartridges or different um, things that you say that you could carry, and you also throw them away after. So they created a product that is not as long lasting as the other one, and it still needs people to go back to the store and buy more. Now, create the marketing strategy. Create the marketing strategy. It all depends on the budget that you have, the promotions that you want to do, the place where you're going to sell it, right? The price that you're going to sell it to, and the product. All of this is going to be based on your location, right? Why is that? Because sometimes there is a Japanese mentality. The Japanese mentality is I could enter the market with a really low price, and then little by little getting um, I'm getting market share. More people is aware of my product, and that's how I'm going to target it, right? So then you know the product, you know the budget, you know the promotions, you know the place, and you also know the price when you're entering the to market. Conduct business case analysis. Understand the total demand for your product. If you do not ask people around what this, what they're expecting from this product, most likely you're not going to have enough information once you go to market. Talk about new purchases, talk about repeat purchases, talk about replacement purchases, profitability analysis in the long term and the short term analysis. Is this product going to be good enough for me to be making money all the time? Reason why is because it might be too good, like we just said. Gillette had razors that were, lasting a very long time. What did he do? He created a product that could be replaced more often, and customers will could be repeat purchases all the time, or are gonna have new purchases. But that creates profitability for me in the long and the short term right away. So develop new product opportunity, test the market, and then you can go to product launch. Product launch meaning I am ready to go to market after I analyze all these things. What happens with the customer product adoption process? As a human, we already saw the purchasing process, which is like identify the problem, and then you end up in post-purchase, which is analyzing the product that you bought. Now, in here, from the other perspective, is actually you're aware that there is a product, right? There's an interest, then you evaluate the product, then there is a trial, and there is also finally an adoption of that specific product. So same in here, consumer product adoption process. I am aware of the product. I think it's interesting. I evaluate the different options that I have. Now I buy it and I try it. And if I really, really like it, then I go into adoption of the product. Once I adopt it, then I end up going back to that same company and I end up buying more. So once you understand how the customer is thinking, then you have to know that first I have to get their attention. Now that I have their attention, I have to be interesting for them to be even in their map so they could evaluate me as a product. Now I want to push them so they could try it and then they adopt it to their daily life. Right here, as the last part of the chapter, is the consumer product chart. You guys might have seen it before, or you guys are some of these areas or type of people. So, customer product adoption is pretty much dividing us as different groups. The innovators are those individuals that as soon as they hear there is a product coming up or being produced or anything like that, they want to be the first ones that get it. So innovators, as soon as they hear there's a product, I want to get the trial, I want to be involved, I know everything. And especially in technology right now, they want to be the first ones to get it. And we see the other the other side of the bell curve, which is the laggards. The laggards will be the last people that will adopt it. Now, we're going to see it on cell phones, right? Innovators are pretty much those that get the latest iPhone even before it goes to market because they want to be the first ones that got it. Early adopters are the ones that say, ooh, I can go to the store now. I want to be the first one in the store and I'll get it, right? Early majority is people that are saying, oh, I see that the early adopters are talking about it. I think it's good and I think it's okay to buy it. But then there is also a late majority that says, it's not as expensive as when it came out, so I'll give it a try. And then laggards are the ones that usually buy one model older than the other, right? So that is product description, and that is chapter number 8. Once again, this chapter it's not covered on the quiz, so it's only chapter number 1 through 7. Any questions on that chapter? Any questions on the product? Any questions on how to, start with the new product and how to differentiate it and what are the things that um, are important on that? Any questions? Any comments?
Oh, Sir Danny, so the exam is from chapter 1 to 7 only?
Correct.
Even the quiz?
The quiz, yeah.
Thank you.
So once again, it's already in Moodle. Please double check, and if you have any questions, contact me at any time. It's only 1 to 10. It's a quiz. Should be pretty straightforward. All the questions come from the PowerPoints. Just so you know, the PowerPoint from 1 to 7, 10 questions, 10 points each, total 100 points. Guys, it has been a pleasure with you guys spend my Sunday morning in here. Thank you guys so much. Once again, we covered chapter number 7, chapter 8. We cover work ethic as a soft skill, and thank you so much. And I'll see you guys next Sunday. Make sure that you guys make sure that you guys finish the quiz before next class. Finish the quiz before next class, because I will final grade. If you do not complete it before next class, then your final grade on that will be 0. All right. Thank you guys very much. You guys have an amazing day. And those that are starting the week also have an amazing week. And love and care about for your family. So I'll see you guys next Sunday. Thank you guys
Thank
so
you
much
so
for
much.
coming.
Have a nice day,
Thanks,
sir.
sir.
Thank you.
Thank
You too.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.